Hey guys, Bigrat310 back again. The computer for a little bit, and I have a lot of questions for a Q&A. And I know I'm gonna be doing the greatest YouTube shooter, your favorite YouTube shooter contest. So I'm gonna have a lot of messages in my inbox, and I don't want to have so many. I hate having so many questions in your inbox. So I'm just gonna do my Q&A so that way I can delete all these questions now. I said before, I was unfortunately unable to see Cage Collision. I tried my best. People told me it wasn't that great, which makes me happy inside. But now I will see Lockdown. I will see Lockdown. Look, and let me get something straight. People think, because I got a message, why do you hate TNA? I don't hate TNA. I want TNA to live. I want them to prosper so you can have a wrestling alternative. It's not that I think, people get the wrong idea. When people say that they want an alternative, it's not that they think TNA is faster paced. By alternative, it simply means a different style of wrestling. Doesn't mean it's better, it's different. And I like seeing different. That way you're not watching the same thing all the time. So yes, I've been watching TNA since 2006. If you count the first time I ever saw it, 2004. I really want TNA to live. I don't hate TNA. I know it looks like I rag on them a lot because I really think they've been just crap these past few months. But Lockdown's gonna be. I saw Lockdown last year. While I didn't think it was very good, like I said, 2006 was one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time from TNA. So I'm gonna give it a chance. Lockdown, no matter how bad a pay-per-view looks, a cage always helps. A cage always helps. For those of you who saw my predictions, except for the first match between the Guns, LAX, and No Limit, where I think a cage can hurt this match because they can't do suicide dives and jumps off the top rope. But aside from that, it's gonna be a good pay-per-view. Okay. There, I said. Do I think it's going to be better than Mania? No. I don't even think it'll be better than Backlash. Backlash is looking really good right now. You have Jack Swagger versus Christian for the ECW title. Last man standing between John Cena and Edge. Six-man tag between Batista, Triple H, and Shane versus Legacy. And newly added Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy I Quit match. So Backlash is looking amazing. So I just don't like people saying Lockdown will be better than WrestleMania when I don't think Lockdown will even be better than Backlash. Okay, first question from RKO for Life 11. What would be some feuds that you would like to see now that the draft has taken place and wrestlers have switched brands? One of the obvious ones, since MVP was on Raw, I'm like, who could fight for the U.S. title? Please, not The Miz. Please, not The Miz. Thank God Brian Kendrick's over there, who I think is perfect for the U.S. title. I never thought that they forgotten him. You don't give someone a WWE title shot and then just completely leave him alone, which is what they did with Brian Kendrick. I do believe that he will have a feud with MVP, which I am really looking forward to. Another I'm looking forward to is John Morrison versus Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. I've wanted to see that for a while. That's been in my list. And also Evan Bourne is D.H. Smith. D.H. Smith on ECW. Yeah, that could be good. The one that I was looking forward to more was Hurricane Helms. If they use him, I've always been a huge fan of Hurricane Helms. Huge fan. Big supporter of him. Him, the Hardys, Shannon Moore. They grew up together. I would really love to see a Hurricane Helms Evan Bourne feud or Hurricane Helms TJ Wilson. NickisNY says, who do you think is Undertaker's next victim? Honestly, he's not in a feud right now, so I don't know what the hell they're doing with him. I think he will be at Backlash. WWE doesn't stuff a match in there. They won't just stuff a random feud with The Undertaker. He'll probably have a more important role. Trying to think who's going to feud with now. I know he had a match with Sheldon. I don't know if that means anything. He might have a match with Sheldon at Backlash, which I would look forward to, since, Undertaker's my favorite, and Sheldon is one of my favorite wrestlers also. But I doubt it's going to happen. But if I had to pick, I have to pick Shelton just on base. What's happening? Do you think Goldberg will ever return? No, I think he is done, and for good reason. He wasn't really great technical-wise, but he was so good that he can, capture our attention, that he knew how to put on a good match because of that. Okay, The Wrestling Show says, who do you think will retire first? Sting or HBK? HBK is retiring next year at Mania, but I'm pretty sure Sting will retire when his contract runs out, which is this year. People think he's going to go to the WWE, but I believe he'll go to the WWE literally for a day or something, retire, so that way, I don't know, so WWE can say they can put him in the Hall of Fame or something. So yes, I say Sting. Who have the more less effective business? Shawn Michaels, by far. Shawn Michaels had the better feuds, the better promos. Sting was more popular in the in the 80s. In the 80s, 90s, that's when people remember him most for. But his run in WCW, aside from his feud with Hogan, no one really remembers much from Sting. During that time, you have HBK, Undertaker, and the Hell in a Cell, which everyone will remember. The Iron Man match with Bret Hart, which everyone will remember. The ladder match with Razor Ramon, which everyone will remember. So DX, which everyone will remember. So I think definitely Shawn Michaels had the most lasting effect. Best feuds, promos. Well, if you're gonna say promos, I gotta go Shawn Michaels and feuds. For the majority of their career, I gotta say Shawn Michaels again, because Shawn Michaels' feuds right now are still very good, whereas Sting's right now pretty lackluster. So I gotta say Shawn Michaels everything. Even I know you guys know that Shawn Michaels is one of my favorite wrestlers, but also I feel that he will make the most progress and most effect. Nick Killer 999 says, which three superstars who have never won one of the main titles would you like to see win a title? Like I said, I don't know if the ECW title counts, but you guys already know that my three guys, I've stressed this so many times. I want to see Shelton Benjamin, I want to see John Morrison, and people would think I would say MVP. No, I want to see Evan Bourne, because Evan Bourne is really over, more over than MVP. Evan Bourne's the only guy who I can see competing with Jeff Hardy on the overness, because I know Evan Bourne flies, and since WWE's PG, a lot of the kids like to see the high flyers. So Evan Bourne is extremely over with the crowd. I would love for him to see him win a title, just because the main title picture, if you have Evan, I know it's unlikely, but they gave Rey Mysterio the title, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Evan Bourne's a little taller than Rey is. I think by like an inch or two. And I have seen Evan Bourne, I know he's Bam Neely, but it was still Bam Neely. I've seen Evan Bourne pin Mark Henry cleanly. So I think, yes, Evan Bourne can be the world title. I really want to see him go there. I don't expect that happening for years, but I would pick Christian, but he won the TNA world title. To me, that's the main title, but if you don't count it, then fine. But then I would put Christian if you don't count the TNA world title. If you're talking about WWE, then yeah, I guess Christian over Evan Bourne, but I don't know if you're not. Okay, 7-Story Magnet says, Bigrat, now that Edge, Christian, Jeff, and Matt are all back in the WWE, do you see their past history being used in a future angle? Perhaps Edge versus Christian, and eventually both teams of brothers reunited for another feud at some point, maybe not TLC for something. I see the cross-branded. I was planning on seeing Christian and Jeff versus Matt and Edge, but we never got that. Christian didn't go to SmackDown, which I was really disappointed. And then I got Edge and Jeff on SmackDown, Christian on ECW, and Matt on Raw. It's gonna be really a lot harder, but they will do something down the line. I believe they will do something down the line, just not anytime soon. I can't see a feud happening there. People really want to see Edge and Christian. Everyone wants to see that. I'm a big, long, hard mark for Maurice. Do you like the current Divas champion and her progress so far? Also, what do you think of the Divas title? Divas title, I hate. Honestly, they should just unify the titles. Even the tag teams, they didn't have a lot of tag teams, but I would rather see 2 tag titles than 2 Divas titles. This is so fucking pointless. Maurice, I think she's not as bad as everyone says. Her match with Michelle McCool in Unforgiven, while it wasn't good, she did do that nice spot off the barricade, like a crossbody from the top of the barricade to Michelle. And I believe in ultimate potential. When you do something cool once, that means you can do it all the time. So I believe it is there. I just believe she doesn't show it, at all. Nah, but I don't hate her like Black Cat Feline does. Sorry, Kristen. But she could be good. Ring of Honor surpassed TNA as the #1 competitor in the WWE, putting TNA in 3rd place. Not for a while, but I can't see it happening. ROH needs a few more years. When you see Taker retiring from wrestling, they said something about how next April in the European tour is part of the Taker retirement tour, which I don't want to see Taker retire next year. I just haven't had enough of him for selfish reasons. HBK, WrestleMania 26. Angle, it's not for a while. Big Show, not for a while. Kane, not for... Angle's only been wrestling for 9 years. He's not that big of a veteran. So he's going to stay for a long time. Big Show, I see staying for a long time. I know he was in 1993 and all that. Was he in 1993? No, he was in 96. I still see him wrestling. He looks like he can... I do see him taking another long sabbatical like he already did. Kane, I see him staying, like I said, this year. Foley is never going to retire. He's already admitted that he'll never admittedly say the word retire, but he will stop wrestling. He just won't ever say I retire because he loves it so much. But his body is so destroyed. He just won't wrestle. He just won't. He won't wrestle, but he'll never say I won't wrestle. If you get what I'm saying. I could believe it can be next few years for all of them. What do you think? I won't ask about Triple H. It's my peer forever. Do you think it matters that guys come back every once in a while after they retire? Look at Mick Foley. Look at Ric Flair. He did it so many times. I think it does matter because these guys are serious. All of them when I see them retired. Last question. I don't ever expect to see Teddy Hart, cursing pot smoking Hart in the WWE ever, but I do see possibly Harry Smith, Brett DiBiase, Reed Flair, Joe Henning, Ricky Steamboat Jr., and others becoming superstars in the next few years. Can you see a future angle or stable involving these 2 guys joining or feuding with Orton, Rhodes, DiBiase, Manu, and 2 other second generation, 3rd generation prodigies? New Horseman, let's see. Yeah, they already had the legacy. I see if these guys are just going to go straight to legacy. They're going to build the legacy to be bigger. Not as big as the NWO was, when it had 50 people. But I do believe the legacy could easily become a 6 or 7-man stable. So I believe these guys will just go straight to legacy. But Ricky Steamboat Jr., Ricky Steamboat Sr. was never a heel. He was never a heel, so I doubt to put him in. I'm done. Bigrat310 out. Peace.